I've been very much into my sports since the age of like 4, and I will always have a love of like combat, medieval combat, any kind of form. And this is a way of actually I can do that without actually hurting someone properly. I've tried many ones, fencing, HEMA, all that stuff. You can get hurt, but this one, you're fighting for the fun of it. No one's really going to get hurt, and you can get in these cool costumes.
It's an opportunity to be anybody, really. In life, you're kind of confined into, or you're being a teaching assistant right now, or whatever it is that you do. Whereas in LARP, if you want, you can be a mercenary, you can be a hero.
My name's Michael West, and I am a motion capture engineer, which is, if anyone's seen any films or, let's go with films, it's when you see the actor in like that suit with a whole bunch of dots and marks on them. So that's, we record that and then put that into a game or film. So LARP is basically cross-country pantomime, which is the ongoing joke in the branch. No, I'd say it is a combat sport of which you dress up and enact the rules of a fantasy game. Reliving the whole, you know, when you're a kid, you find a stick in the woods and go out and just fight your brother or something, but with more rules and a bit more of a story, and rather than just, oh, I'm waving a stick, I now actually have to fight semi-properly.
LARP to me is the place that I've met all of my bestest friends over the past, I started like 3 and a bit years ago, just when I started becoming a teacher. And between then and now, I think 80% of my current friend group and people I would call like family to me, who are the first friends I haven't had out of necessity, have all been from LARP, where we've all created this world together, and then eventually it's led to us meeting up outside of LARP and becoming really close to each other. So LARP is a place to escape, but it's also a backdrop for me to just hang out with the best people in my life.
We killed that with an enchanted blade and a...
I thought it was an enchanted silver blade.
Well, I don't know if it's enchanted or silver.
We don't have one of those, so...
No, we don't, so basically...
I was more appealed to the living history side of reenactment, and then really enjoying like adventure and fantasy. Someone said, oh, you should go and try LARP. So I went with my partner, and we really got into it. It kind of filled that gap that we think we were all looking for.
Also have not been attacking the village, they are just loud and rowdy, so we are not going in there to fight them, we are there to talk and discuss with them.
And if they fight us?
If they fight us, then we will respond in kind and defend ourselves, but the primary plan is to chat with them first. They might, even though they are illegally armed, possibly illegally armed.
They may have permits.
Yeah, they may have permits, we don't know. In character, I am a high-ranking Black Knight, one of the highest in the country, and basically, yeah, a knight. They're above the everyone, big shield, sword, and I have to go out and defend the people.
I am a magic user, which is kind of rare in the system, I think. I've had to go through quite a process to do it, so just by default, I have a speciality of being knowledgeable about this certain thing that a lot of other players can't do. And I like wearing clean outfits and flouncing around and pretending that I'm holier than thou, because someone's got to do it, frankly.
Would you say that kind of relates to your life as a teacher then, knowing more than the others?
Oh, not all my characters are know-it-alls, but it is fun to do, because I don't actually know anything, but because it's all made up, I can just hardline double down on pretending that I know everything, and everyone's convinced.
Kids, get behind me!
This is also a mix of the whole sitting around the table, you know, living out that big fantasy dream of slaying the dragon, and then also of being physically active, but at the same time, looking the part as well. Like, it's not just we go out in these civilian, let's call them civilian clothes, and just hit each other. It would just, by dressing up, you get more immersed into it, you forget about the outside world so much, and you really dive into the whole, oh, I'm in this fantasy-esque environment, and I have to actually do this. I'm fighting for my life, technically.
perceive LARP, so non-LARPers?
I've been so immersed in LARP for so long that it's kind of difficult to understand how people would perceive it.
I think people have two kinds of views on it. Most of it comes from the film Role Models, which is how I actually got into this. They ask, oh, is it a bit like Role Models? It is similar, but less, let's say, Hollywood side of it. The other is that, oh, that's strange. Why do you dress up in the costumes and fight? So they don't understand it, which I can understand. Like, there's many stuff out there that I've seen, I don't like, and I don't understand because I'm not involved. But it's basically, yeah, it's the escapism, and if you actually get involved as opposed to just watch from the sides, you can understand a little bit more why people enjoy it. The physical side of it, nothing else matters outside there, and it's just the adrenaline as well from someone running at you with a sword screaming. Your brain kicks in and goes, oh, that shouldn't happen, probably trying to kill me, and you act a little bit more on instinct.
I think as I've LARPed more, you get more comfortable being a bit further from yourself when you're role playing, and it becomes an opportunity to maybe try and be things that you're scared to be. Like, I never would have felt comfortable sort of trying to command a legion of knights in my real life, but in the game everyone's invested in the same fiction and everyone plays along, so it's that's then accessible to me, even if I'd be way too shy to do that in the actual world.
Most of my life, when I'm not teaching and doing my day job and seeing my family, most of my weekends are given to going to LARPs or going to help build sites, it's become a huge part of my life. All of my friend group is there with me, being just as excited to go back and do these things, and it's at the end of the day, it's just an excuse for me to see people that I love, and I want to do that as much as possible, and we all find that a mutual excuse. Sometimes it's hard to find reasons to make new friends, but LARP is a great place where you can just walk up and, as an adult, meet dozens and dozens of people who all want to be friends with you and who you all have something in common with.
So I'm 25, I've been playing it for 6 years, so I was 19. One of our branch members, he is 62 now. He's the oldest in the branch, and he's been doing it for 30 years. And yeah, he still loves it. It's basically, it's going back to that whole thing as a kid. If you never really want to grow up, you don't have to. You just enjoy life.